Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. We must ask the question, who is running the country? It seems most people would think it was Keir Starmer. But that's not exactly true. For whilst he's busy clamping down on freedom of expression, free speech, free movement, he's trying to clamp down on people sharing the facts of what's going on. He doesn't like the truth coming out. But he's doing that from a state of fear because he knows that the truth would destroy the Labour Party. But he's not actually running the country because the person who's actually in charge, the person who is really the power in this country, is Sue Gray. She is the worm tongue within the heart of government. No one gets to Keir Starmer unless they go through Sue Gray. And it is to such an extent that actually national security implications are tied to this. This is an exclusive piece in the Daily Mail. And I can well believe it. We've got a history with Sue Gray in this country. She's putting 310 million into an area of Belfast, particularly important to her kind of thing. She's got far too much power for a woman who's unelected, remember. And even Sir Humphrey himself, Simon Case, the Chief Secretary to the Cabinet Office, cannot speak directly to the Prime Minister of this country without going through Sue Gray. This is a totally unacceptable situation because something could happen and the Prime Minister may need to be told immediately, but then he'll have to wait. Whoever's having to tell him will have to wait until Sue Gray okays it. Unacceptable. But Sir Keir Starmer is being denied vital security briefings because his Chief of Staff, Sue Gray, is blocking access to him, says the Daily Mail. And this is coming from senior Whitehall sources. So this isn't just something the Mail are inventing. There are sources, plural. There are more than one person is saying this. So I do think there's probably some truth to it. And certainly it's the sort of thing you would say, you wouldn't say this unless you had the backing up of it, because otherwise she would sue. Sue would sue, But they've claimed, these sources, that Sue Gray thinks that she runs the country, that she is the one that whispers into his ear. She has the ear of the Prime Minister and that he will hear no voice but hers. And that is seriously dangerous. They've been saying that Sue Gray has asked, like I say, Simon Case has been forced to ask permission to speak to the PM. And the claims come amid growing disquiet in the government over the power wielded by Miss Gray, and I suppose over the way that Keir Starmer is running this joke of a government. The source, one of the Sue sources now, I don't know how many, they said several sources, so it must be more than three or more, isn't it? One of the sources said they had struggled to reach the Prime Minister when they needed to brief him on sensitive national security issues. Sue Gray could put this country into a state of war because of her own insecurity, because of her own feelings of self-importance, her own need for self-aggrandizement. Look at me, I'm important, I'm Sue Gray. Revel in my glory. I don't think so, Sue. I think you need to go. I think you're a danger to this country. The source said it's got to the point where we have said that the PM needs to be given an intelligence briefing, and Gray has said, tell me. But we need to know that it has reached him. And she shouldn't know unless it comes from him. She's not the elected Prime Minister of this country. The Prime Minister, even though I loathe him, still must be told first, not Sue Gray. Sue Gray could tell the Prime Minister, but change the intonation, change the meaning, change the area of importance. Not what the head of, say, national security, not the head of the army, not the head of MI5 or whatever, wants to say, but what Sue Gray feels ought to be said. It's dangerous. Another source has said that Simon Case is having the same problem. The Cabinet Secretary should not have to go through her to get to the PM. She thinks she's running the country. This is another source saying this. And last night, John Glenn, the Shadow Paymaster General, said these reports are extremely concerning. I think they're frightening. I think beyond concerning, these are frightening. He said the PM needs to get a grip on courtiers who the public didn't vote for. And that's exactly it. They're nobodies. They're his chums. They're rewarded with very highly paid, very lucrative jobs, very powerful jobs. But they haven't been voted in. These are the gift of the PM, and they're abusing that gift. According to another source, Miss Gray was also involved in an extraordinary standoff with Mr. Case when she tried to prevent the Prime Minister's powerful advisor, Morgan McSweeney, from being granted access to a secure government IT system. Miss Case, who's head of the civil service, is said to have objected. He said, "I will only authorise that if the Prime Minister tells me himself." And Miss Gray, 68, has been locked in a power struggle with Mr. McSweeney, Number 10's head of political strategy, who is widely referred to as the real Deputy Prime Minister since their days preparing Sir Keir for power. McSweeney is the Malcolm Tucker of this current Labour Party. Scottish, loud, sweary, aggressive, you know. Anyway, it is now being described as the battle between Gray's Girls Gang and McSweeney's Big Boys Brigade. I think when push comes to shove, I would believe that McSweeney would win that one. But who knows? Who knows indeed? But this is not what this country needs. We do not need power-mad women like Sue Gray having the ear of the Prime Minister exclusively, filtering everything that the Prime Minister hears, presenting it in her way so that she can direct policy by subtle intonation. Much as I don't like Keir Starmer, this is not a way to run a government, and it puts the security of this country at stake. It is dangerous and it needs to stop. And if he is going to come out of this without looking weak, he's got to fire Sue Gray. But he won't, because the man has got no balls. He's all smooth down the front. Thank you very much for listening. Let me know what you think, and I will speak to you later. Bye.